What a great chapter to see so early on in a series that really teaches a great life lesson about unity and the importance of teamwork.
Naruto number 8. You failed.
I like this Kakashi, boy, I tell you. Well, hello, my brothers and sisters of the Nerd Nation. I, as always, am Jim, here to bring you another review on the awesome, awe-inspiring, and really, I would say, ties to real-world, real-life issues, at least in this chapter anyway, review of Naruto. Our last chapter, of course, saw us with ending Volume 1, and we are digging into, or getting into the first chapter, I guess I should say, of Volume 2 over here. So we're just moving right along, and I believe ending up the first arc. So, of course, the last chapter in Volume ended with, Kakashi going and telling them, hey, listen, you don't have to worry about going back to training anymore because none of you are ever going to be ninja, you're never going to be. And that was how things ended. So it picks up right where it left off, and he's yelling at them that they're never going to get it out of their head, blah, blah, blah. So then we go and we see the Hokage, and he's in there with Iruka, and Iruka's like, Master, is this Kakashi, is he a very strict person, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of curious, wants to know about for Team 7, right, which is obviously Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura. And the Hokage is like, well, no, here, matter of fact, here, take a look in the book over here, and you can see it's a list of all of his students and who's passed and who's failed, and that type of thing. And then then the panel on the page ends with him being like, what? As he's looking at this thing, so you're like, what the hell? What's this guy's deal, right? Does he not pass anybody? Does he pass everybody? What's his deal? Is he new on the job? Anyway, there's a really great moral in this story and a real nice real life lesson that can be taken from this as well. So I really enjoyed this chapter. It goes back to them, off in the middle of nowhere, and he's explaining to them, he's saying, you all failed, and they don't understand why. Well, why? And Naruto's like, come on, out with it. And he's like, because you missed the whole point of the exercise, right? And they're, well, what's that? And he leaves them hanging for, and then he says, teamwork. That was the whole thing. And as soon as he started talking, I was thinking about it in my head, and I'm like, yeah, son of a bitch. He goes, why do you think you were divided up into teams? So you could learn to use teamwork, So then, somebody brings up Naruto or Sakura or whatever, and says, well, yeah, but, Master Kakashi, you only, why would you want us to work as a team if you only had 2 lunches? That means somebody was going to have to go hungry, And I really like what he said, because he said, listen, that may be the case. Yeah, sure, I was trying to do that to cause dissension amongst the ranks, but ultimately what I wanted is I was waiting for one of you to go and put his own hunger aside, his own goals aside, and say, let's work together for the greater good. I don't worry about a lunch right now. I just want to pass. I want to pass, And so I really thought that was great, how he explained that. And they're all like, oh, geez, right? So this goes on, as he's explaining everything to him, and he explains, individually. He says, Sakura, you didn't pay attention to Naruto when he was right in front of you. You were too busy trying to pay attention to Sasuke. You didn't even know where the hell he was. Naruto went and tried being a one-man army and doing everything by himself without ever thinking of joining up with anybody else or utilizing that. Because he goes, maybe if all 3 of you would have attacked me at once, you would have had a better chance of actually getting the bells, And he goes, and Sasuke, you had already made up your mind that everybody else was going to be in your way, right? So it was just every man for himself type of mentality. And I really like this because it reinforces that teamwork, that camaraderie, that friendship, And I thought it was very, very cool the way it was explained. So he goes and he says, I'm going to give you one more chance. It's just one more. That's it. And if you fail this time, that's it. There's nothing. I'm not giving you another one. So this is your one chance. He goes and then he doesn't tell him what it's going to be. He goes, so sit down and Sasuke and Sakura, you can eat lunches. Naruto cannot, and this and that. And they're, well, why not? And he says, because he already kissed his lunch away by trying to go and steal his and being able to take his. And then we also find out too that actually where the lunch boxes were sitting on top of it was this memorial stone, and it has the names of all these various shinobi in there, right? And Naruto goes and he says, well, I know where my name was going to be now, And he goes, those are the names of fallen heroes, people that have, ones that have died. died in battle, right? And then Naruto like kind of rethinks that one. He's like, whoa, maybe not. I don't want to die, right? But anyway, so he goes and he tells him, he says, so go ahead and eat your lunches and whatnot, and you know, like kind of like I'll be back in a little bit. And but under no uncertain circumstances, do not give anything, do not give any to Naruto. You know, this is my word is law. And he goes and he's like, you understand? And they're like, yeah. He disappears, you know, poof, runs off, whatever. Takes a. So it's funny for a couple panels, they're sitting there, and Sasuke's, you know, kind of sitting cross-legged, you know, Indian style, cross-legged, eating his lunch, right? And you know, and Sakura's doing the same. And then Sasuke goes and he's just like, here, and he puts his arm out, you know, and he says, goes to hand it to Naruto, and Sakura's like, yeah, but he told us that, you know, Master Kakashi told us that we can't, and this and that. And Sasuke goes, I don't care about any of that. If we're going to act as a team and work together, I need you to actually be at full strength. Because Naruto had already said, he's like, don't worry, we'll pass this easy, no problem. I don't have to eat, you know, but his stomach was rumbling, and obviously his energy's down from, you know, everything that's been going on this morning and now into the afternoon. And Sasuke just basically says, I don't care what he says. I need you at full strength if you're going to be a teammate and if you're going to actually help me, and we're actually going to work together for, you know, teamwork, right? So then Sakura winds up doing the same thing, or at least it appears that way, and they're all sharing as buddies, right? Their first real act of teamwork, and I thought that was great. And then Naruto's sitting there, you know, he says thanks and everything else, and then it's kind of cool because it goes back to Iruka in the Hokage, and and he's just like, and it goes right to that moment right after he was like, what? And then he's just like, seriously? You know, and Hokage's like, well, yeah, he's very strict to this day. He's like, no one passes, no one has ever passed, you know? And the Hokage just kind of, you know, it's kind of cool because he's kind of like that old wise guy, you know what I mean? And with age sometimes comes wisdom and everything else, you know? And I think he just kind of has, he's like chuckling inside almost, thinking like, don't worry about it, you know? I see something in these three or whatever, you know? And I paired them up with them, I put them with Kakashi for a reason. So anyway, so then it goes back to, and right before the chapter ends, it's kind of cool, it goes back to them all sitting around and finishing up sharing their lunch, right? And all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, Kakashi appears and he's just, I mean, he's like right up on him like a bat out of hell, just appears and he's just like, you all, and then he just goes, and I love this, you know, he goes, and it's a double page phrase, like, you all, and then he's like, pass. And they're all sitting there like freaking out, thinking he's gonna nail them because they disobeyed his orders, right? And then he goes and he winks at him. He's got the thing over his one eye, right? But he winks with his one good eye. I thought it was great. And they're all like, huh? What? Nobody knows what's going on. I was thinking the whole time, though, I was thinking, son of a bitch, man. The whole thing is that he wanted them to not listen to him, okay? Because really, you have to go and there's times that you can listen to things, and there's other times where you have to put your fellow man first. And this was really cool. And the way that he went and he said it, and he goes, what does he say? He says, a true shinobi seeks for the hidden meanings within hidden meanings, right? Which we already know. In a ninja's world, those who violate the rules and fail to follow orders are lower than garbage. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. However, those who do not care for and support their fellows are even lower than that. So, yes, you are supposed to follow orders and everything else, and there may be a life or death situation. As a matter of fact, earlier, he went and he goes, and when he was explaining everything to them, and he went, Sakura, kill Naruto. And she's like, what? And he's like, or I'll kill Sasuke, because he had Sasuke pinned down. Sasuke had come at him, you know, to try to attack him, whatever, when he got pissed off when he told them they were going to fail because they didn't use teamwork. They were all losers. And I forgot to mention that, but he's got him pinned down, and everybody's like freaking out, like, what's going on? And he goes, you may have to make a decision like that sometime in battle, you know? And the whole idea was reinforcing something that we should put in our daily lives as well, which is teamwork, whether that is a classmate, whether that is a friend, whether it is, you know, somebody that's a coworker that you're working with, or somebody on a project. Working together and not putting one above the group is a very, very important thing. And I just, like I said, it's something that I like. I have 3 kids. I always try to teach them to work together and everything else. And to tell you the truth, it's so neat because there's many times that if my 3 kids worked together when we were goofing around playing out in the snow and they were trying to tackle me or take me down, or we were playing something, they would probably be able to take me. But since they all try to go and prove that they're big badasses by themselves, even the 2-year-old, you know, they usually wind up failing at one at a time. So I just thought it was a great comparison to real life stuff over there, you know. So everybody's all happy, and it's neat, you know. Naruto's just like, that's kind of cool, you know. So I really enjoyed it, though. And he's like, you know, he goes, the exercise is obviously concluded. You all pass, and he's like, "That's all for today, Team 7. Your duties will commence tomorrow." And then Naruto's just like, "I did it! I did it! I did it! I'm a ninja!" So I don't know what else they have. And then everybody's going to walk off, and he's just like, "Hey guys, I'm still tied up over here." So the comedy is great. Just everything about it is enjoyable thus far, and I'm certainly excited. This looks like it ends up the first arc over here, and just can't wait to dive deeper into the background, the mythos, the adventure, just everything. It's great, So, my chapter question is though, what do you think about what my comments and thoughts on really on the whole lesson, I guess, of the chapter and really the previous few, which was teamwork, and really ultimately at the end it was I don't want you guys blindly just listening to my orders all the time, because if it makes more sense and if it's a more viable thing to do by helping your fellow man, I want you to do that, because you have to think of your fellow man first before you go and you think about, well, the orders were to do this, And I just, what are your thoughts on that? On just the whole reinforcement of teamwork and everything else? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. And leave your answers, though, in the comments down below. Feel free to hit the thumbs up, the like button if you should think that I deserve it, and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Shame on you. We look forward to catching all of you in the next Fun Nation.
If you like drawing like this, remember to go and check out my Facebook and Instagram page. And coming soon, there will be very many Naruto pictures as well.